Hard work, hard work. Hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work. Hard work. That's what I say. Hard work, work, work. Earn what pay. Hard work, work. Hard work. Do it every day. Hard work, work.
3, 2, 1.
All right. Good evening, folks. Al Flowers with you. And we're live on TalkOne Radio. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's always good to have folks on board. Tonight, big night. We got Mike Covert coming in. That'd be nice to have him join us tonight. And he'll be here about 7:30 or so, filling us in on his race for the nomination for District 6 as the Republican nominee. He's up against Anna Marie Tabernac. There's an open invitation for Anna Marie to join us next Wednesday if she'd like. Not picking favorites on this one, trying to stay right in the middle. But, we all have to make our choices. So when we go into the voting booth, at least we hope to. It's our last bastion of hope is the electoral process. I'm not sure if it's as squeaky clean as we'd like to have it, but if you watch that donkey movie that's out, it's pretty damning, I must say. But technology is proof, they say. Follow the science, right? But we'll see how that works out. It's you see, on tonight's show, I just ran it down here. We're going to let's talk about, of course, the tragedy in Texas. Not making light of that at all. It's absolutely horrendous what went on down there. And more information is coming out about law enforcement's reaction and reading of the whole situation prior to this thing even kicking off. Which is kind of sad to me. I heard some of the things today, and several different sources picked up on this. And I guess the sheriff actually laid down a timeline, and there was interaction with this shooter prior to him even entering the school. I guess he wrecked his vehicle and then fled and in hot pursuit. I don't know. I don't know the details. I don't want to get going with speculation. But overall, my commentary on the whole thing, it's as everybody is feeling the tragedy of this thing. But I don't think that, blaming guns, in this case, an inanimate object, is going to solve anything. I mean, vacuuming these things off the streets and restricting people's Second Amendment rights to have those for sporting, hunting, and target shooting, competition, whatever, I think is not the answer. I think we are woefully behind the power curve with mental health, and there's some things that would. Now, this is kind of cliche, and I've said it before in mixed company of all different types of people, not just conservatives, but I think that, this video game industry with virtual reality, some of the realism in these video games is absolutely insane, where we're conditioning our young people to after they kill 20,000 people or 10 people graphically, to hit the reset button and play the game again and again. And then it almost becomes like, what's the big deal? And I think that some of that poison gets into their system. You couple that with some mental health issues, the propensity of doctors just to write prescriptions for all types of drugs that dull your senses and really kind of set these kids on a path that you really don't want. These thoughts in their mind. I mean, it's pure darkness and evil, obviously. I can't fathom how a young man, I don't know, 18, 19 years old, has that many problems mentally that no one took notice of it. How he ever got these weapons is beyond me. But a lot of these weapons are gathered by people that, not in this case, but, criminals get weapons. People burglarize homes, they burglarize cars, they steal the weapons out of the vehicles. And next thing you know, they're on the street, they're being used in a drive-by shooting, robberies, murders. And, meanwhile, the law abiding citizens are tarnished with all that. And they just want to either hunt, fish, like I said before, they want to use the weapon just for recreational purposes or hunting. I don't think they should be penalized for that. I think we should look a little deeper, a little bit. It's too simplistic to say that, okay, well, wave the wand, get rid of all the guns. I mean, look at what's going on in countries where you're not allowed to have guns. England, Australia, stabbings and bludgeons are up. That's the murder weapon of choice now in those countries. So, will it stop all the violence? No, it's not going to stop the violence. I think we ought to take our time and take a look at some of these mental health issues and pour money on that, as opposed to, sending $25 million or whatever it was to support, a artist in New York City. All right, off of that. I mean, it's not. I don't comparing blaming the guns for violence is like blaming the car for a drunk driver hit and run that killed somebody. You got to let's go to the source and let's figure it out. Number one, how are these people getting these weapons? We know how criminals get them. And believe me, you can make all the laws on the books that you want. The criminals will still get the weapons. And that is not a problem. If I really wanted a gun, I bet you I could go to Savannah and talk to a few guys on the corners, and I'd have a deal, bing, bing, bing. So if you really want them, you're going to get them. It's a sad state of affairs, but I don't think we should punish law-abiding citizens for the trouble of a few. All right, next up, I think maybe a little conversation about the baby formula problem. I have some research here that I'm going to read and discuss with you. And talking about discussing, listen, if you want to call in, it's 440-225-5686. I can only take one at a time. So if you're trying to call in, somebody's on before you, just keep trying until you slide through. Or not. I mean, I understand. A lot of people would prefer to stay on the keyboard than they would talk to somebody even online like this or on the phone. But whatever. This baby formula situation is absolutely sick. I don't want to. I'll save it for later on. Looking forward, of course, to Mike Covert coming on here in about 20 minutes or so. He's going to join us and talk about what he's going to do in District 6. I mean, District 6 is more than just Sun City. So it's going to be interesting to hear what he has planned. I know I've seen some of his talking points. They're interesting. They're ambitious. They're optimistic. So let's go. I mean, the guy's been there before. And I'm not trying to campaign for him. I'm just saying that if you had somebody that has been in the arena fighting the good fight, then, I mean, he gets the leg up. I mean, he's the veteran. It's just like if you were to put this in the sports vernacular, I mean, the rookies have to wait their turn. I mean, there'll be time enough to get to move ahead. But whatever. That's I'm letting out a little bit of my own partiality there, and I apologize for it. But these local races are heating up. I know Maria Walsh, she's running unopposed, and I don't think that anybody could really hold a candle to the job that she's done as treasurer for the county. Absolutely top notch. I mean, what a leader. I've had a chance to interview her several times on the radio, and I talked to her face to face. She's constantly talking about pushing her people forward and how the office would not function without the staff there. Hell of a leader. I'll tell you, she's going places, and I can't wait until she makes the breakout. I know she has a lovely family that she's raising also and doing this job. So she's open to new ideas. So, folks, if you're having some type of problem with the treasurer or paying the taxes, that's the place you want to call. You want to get a hold of one of her staff, and she'll be able to help you out. Just back on this local race thing being heated up, I did see a private note that, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, that talks about these campaign signs and the placement of the signs, etc., and how that's causing a little bit of people getting a little uncomfortable, I guess, is the best way to put that. But if you want to call in, it's 440-225-5686. You're listening to TalkOne Radio. And let me see. I want to talk about Ukraine. You can see the banner today is the Ukrainian flag. I'm partial to the country because of its people. I grew up with a lot of Ukrainians and Poles, Romanians, Lithuanians. I mean, it was a Slavic neighborhood. And I'll tell you, that's where my heart goes. I don't care about this politics, folks. I mean, and you can scream and rant and rave. People have absolutely teed off on me about saying this. Like, I'm such an uninformed dolt that I don't understand that there is politics involved. There's people being deceived. I think that there's a little more to it than that. I don't, I'm not saying that there isn't. All I'm saying is that the Ukrainian people do not deserve to be slaughtered and suffer through a genocidal maniac that invaded a sovereign country. I mean, we did the same thing when, under different circumstances here, when Kuwait was invaded by Iraq. I don't see anybody, old Jumping George, he got right in there. The Bushman. He was right in there. We gotta cover his, national security. Well, these people are being slaughtered. They're being bombed. I imagine sitting in Sun City and having mortars falling around your head and killing people all around you. And then having the tanks roll in and the troops and then the raping and the pillaging. Imagine that. I don't hear the same uproar. I mean, people are being slaughtered. I'm interested in the humanity side of things. Let's stop that free wheel killing spree, and then let's do something else about what's happening politically. Biolabs and washing money. I mean, I have had people, just call me out and say that you're out of your mind. You don't know what you're talking about. All right. I do know what I'm talking about. People are being killed there. I have friends in Poland that have written to me and said, this is no joke. These people are being annihilated. Yeah, we're worried about, that's the Democrats. I don't care about that. Stop this killing. Stop it. We had our opportunity, folks. We had a chance to do that. This maniac, Putin, amassed 100,000 troops on the border We didn't know what was going on. That speaks to these idiots that we call generals in our military establishment. Milley and McKenzie. I think they're both traitors to the United States personally for what their non-action action in Afghanistan. But, it's what are you going to do? It's unbelievable. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. We could have prevented it. Absolutely. I've heard it all. Let's save these innocent people. Instead of just, like we did in Afghanistan, we left Americans over there. Too bad. Shouldn't have gone over there to teach school. Money grubber. Watched a little thing today on, I was on C-SPAN is when I saw it. The old Beto O'Rourke. This guy knows no bounds. Taking a page right out of Bill Ayer's book, the kind of Communist Manifesto. And he interrupts the governor and lieutenant governor's press conference concerning this tragedy in Texas. I'll share this with you real quick. It's quite disgusting, I think. The fact that this guy is even being considered, but he is a full out, I don't know if I can get it up on there. I'm not sure. I'll have to do something about that, but let me see if I can't share the video. Okay. Let me try that. All right. Let's see if I can't pull it down. I don't think so. I don't have it stored. All right. Sorry, I thought I could just drag it on in, but and share my screen with you, but I cannot do that. Well, anyway, this guy comes in the middle of the thing, starts shouting off mic, starts shouting at the governor of Texas and the lieutenant governor, saying, "You're not going to do anything. You're not going to do it." It was such a contrived move. It was really sad. Typical leftist move. And then he was escorted out by the police officers. So what are you going to do? All right. We talked enough about the tragedy in Texas. That was sad enough. Let's, before Mike comes in, I'm going to talk about this. We have a situation. This is a nice community, Sun City, to live in, no doubt. I truly enjoy it. The people, for the most part, are absolutely awesome. They're all doing their own thing. Excuse me, and which is awesome. But here's a little story that I came about today. This is a story of just some folks sitting on their lanai. And the story goes like this. We were sitting on our lanai this morning having coffee when two cyclists, now I'm presuming it's bicyclists, rode by and yelled, "You guys are assholes." Guessing they didn't like my FJB Let's Go Brandon Garden flag on my lanai in a plant pot. Of course, they waited until they were halfway past our house when they yelled so they could make their getaway at the corner. I can't make this stuff up. White people are triggered by flags, posters, hats. You got to be kidding me. But these are, person goes on and say, these are the same two chicken bleep that were that commented on a few weeks ago when I was standing out in the street talking to a friend. This is what the liberals resort to, harassing someone in their own home and then run away. This goes hand in hand with the Beto interruption. Probably the husbands of the liberals that took pictures of our big LGB flag, LGB, not LGBTQ, LGB flag in front and my small garden flag on the lanai and reported us to the community association. And they're all a bunch of, well, I don't really want to say that, who can't fight their way out of a paper bag, and they try to intimidate, then run away like a scared kid. I just, it's amazing to me. I mean, I have quite a few comments here. People don't understand the harassment on either side of this argument. Anybody that makes disparaging comments understand that they're continuing to divide the country. Now, I'm a big fan of this statement. The initial incident was wrong, and the bring it on reaction is wrong too. It's simply bringing the diversive behavior into our community. Why? What's the value? Just stop, then maybe your neighbors will stop. Look, once again, it's a free country. If it's within the rules and regulations of the HOA, so be it. That shouldn't be an issue. But when you talk about this kind of stuff, I mean, I used to fly. I had a law enforcement flag. It was subdued gray and black with a blue stripe on it. I flew that for about, I don't know, till it faded away. So it was almost a year, I guess. And I can't tell you the number of people that stopped by, stopped their car, stopped while they were walking, stopped on their bicycle, and said, some were very supportive and some were like, I mean, they were insane about it. Like, what are you trying to make a statement? What do you think you're doing? That's illegal. Those flags shouldn't be allowed to be flown. This is right after the George Floyd deal. That's another tragedy, by the way, that I am sad about. But, these folks were almost, I know it's a cliche term now, but almost like, you're acting like a domestic terrorist, and they almost said it. It was at the tip of their tongues. But why don't we just kind of let people do what they want to do? This is the time in our lives that we should be, especially if you're 60 and over, is just kind of calming down a little bit. But, with the 4-year onslaught of Trump, Orange Man bad, even though, the scoreboard tells it all. I mean, if you put the scoreboards up, folks, and compare Donald Trump, not a big fan, believe me, but I think he was is what this country needed at the time. And they need him back because we're in the tank. And it's not Putin's fault and it's not COVID's fault. It's Joe Biden's fault. They don't have a plan. They had no plan. I don't want to get off on that. Let me just finish up here. I think, people are, I mean, this is a real hot subject with people about flying these flags. I've seen everything from a rainbow flag to a BLM flag. Hey, listen, do I agree with all that stuff? No, but am I going to, stop my car, knock on someone's door and say, what do you think you're doing? That's offensive to me. Guess what I do? I just keep driving. I just keep moving on through my life. You never know when it's going to end. In a blink of an eye, they say. So, let's calm down a little bit. leave those kids alone. That's what I say. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable that it's nuts. I just say here's a stat that you'll all know and know and love. 61% of the citizens in this country blame Joe Biden for the situation that we find ourselves in. 61%. That's pretty ugly stuff. All right, listen, we got Mike just checked in. Let me just fiddle around with this here just a second. Get everything out of the way. All right, let's do that. Let's do Mike's interview right now. What do you say? What do you say, Mike?
Big Al.
How are you, man?
What's up, buddy?
Mike Covert. That's it.
My man.
Hey, listen, thanks for gracing the old TalkOne radio airways tonight.
Hey, let me tell you, I come with part of the team tonight, buddy.
I like it. All right. Very good. Very good.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, and I was wondering how you're making out.
Oh, good. I'm upsetting people all over the place. So it's a good day. It's a good day. Triggering all the people with skin that's as thin as phyllo dough.
Wow. Well, what's going on? What is I did mention earlier a little bit about there was a post earlier that talked about these political signs that go up.
That was, I'm sure you read it all. I responded to the lady. I said, look, I haven't put any signs in front of Miss Tabernick's sign. I've got better things to do than that. Furthermore, most of my signs are beside hers. And even more so, she's got 2-3 signs on private property outside the side gate that people that own it are friends of mine. And I called them and said, hey, before somebody says, oh, take her down, leave her there, man. It's all good. So the lady came back and said something about, well, she's got a group of her male friends and they saw a white truck and people taking him down and blah, blah. I said, look, lady, A, I don't have a white truck. That's the first thing. B, she said it was a crew, that there was a crew of guys. I don't have a crew. All my signs are put up by me and me only. But I tell you what, I did notice. I took Teresa and I went out to get something to eat. I did notice a white truck and several individuals who were working on the utility work for the roads. Maybe that's the sign grabbers. That's possible. I don't know.
Rumors during politics, as you know, run wild. I mean, they could be anything from soup to nuts.
So for your listeners and anybody that tunes in, no, I am not taking signs and putting them in front of Miss Tabernick's.
There you go.
Again, I've got way more things to do than that. Signs are an eyesore to begin with. That's ridiculous. The thought of that is pure ridiculous. So whatever.
That's it. Well, that's how it goes in politics. You know that better than anybody else. Tell me what's been happening since the debate, since I saw you last. I know you went on Jeff Zapp show. That was very nice. He did it well done there.
Absolutely. Went on that show. Had a good time. What I've been doing and concentrating on is getting into all of the communities. Now, obviously, they don't let me in Sun City to campaign, even though I can get in there every day. I have a unlimited pass. That'll frost some people. I can get in there any day I want. But anyway, I don't go door to door in there. That's against the rules. But I do spend time out in the public. I usually spend, part of the day doing that after work, during work, in between calls. I'm working on things like the traffic light that I'm going to get put up there at Del Webb Boulevard and 170. Working on things this afternoon. I had a conversation with some folks in Southern Oaks, Midway Farms, and the Meadows out here in this corner of Pritchardville that are concerned about some noise ordinances. And you see, that's the thing. To be an effective leader, an effective representative of the people, you have to be inclusive of the entire district. I mean, it goes from University Park all the way to Heritage at New Riverside. You've got college students, retirees, and farmers.
Yeah, right.
What a diverse area. You can't, and this is where, I think my opponent is a great gal, seems super smart, but she's focused on one particular place. And I've been doing this a long time. This isn't my first rodeo. I'm looking at the entire district, and that right there, this noise ordinance problem is something, do I have to be working on it now? Obviously not. I'm not in office. Nobody else is. So, I'm working on it for those people. It's just what I do, Al. It's just what I do.
Right. What I'm holding in my hot little hands here, this remove Stu Rodman deal that you got your name on with Rick Caparel and Bear and Forbes.
And we have another addition to that now.
There's some heavy accusations in here, man.
Well, they're not accusations. They're backed up by bona fide truth. I mean, it's all true. It's well-documented articles. It's been in the Island Packet and Fitz News. And it's been all over the place. These aren't hypotheticals or what we think or what we heard or hearsay. These are, I think it's like 5 of them, if I remember right, 4 or 5 things that have occurred that, we were talking as a group of professionals and said, you know what, we're tired of this. We're tired of people getting the wool pulled over their eyes. And I mean, people being the public, by people like Stu Rodman. As I told him in public, in front of everybody, I said, Stu, you're a nice fellow. You are a nice fellow, but you are terrible. And I think I might have used the word suck, but you're terrible as a chairman. And I meant it then, and I mean it now. But we have an opportunity in this county. The voters of this county have an opportunity to completely change the face of county council. And that means get rid of the people, like Stu Rodman. And his actions have been so gregarious against the rule of law against protocol. This has got to stop. It's got to stop. It's a shame that we had to do that. But people have to realize this is going on, and this cannot be allowed to continue. And so we did that. And
I just saw this thing that said, this guy's trying to run his own personal government. I was like, wow, that's dangerous.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we call them mini MINI governments. When you have these closed meetings. There was one, I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it was in Sea Pines. There were government officials from other, municipalities, business, county, town, blah, 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 that were involved in this particular meeting. And it's against FOIA. It's against every ethics law that you could think of. Wow. You can't behave this way. You cannot behave this way. Government is supposed to be represented in front of people and with people. Remember the whole for the people, by the people?
Oh, yeah.
That whole thing?
Yeah.
That's not what he's doing.
Right.
Well, and it's not a personal thing. Don't get me wrong. Again, super nice guy. just terrible for county council and the public.
How about Logan Cunningham, for example, and Chris Hervishon? Have you heard from them? Are they?
No, and and I don't knock them for it because they have to work with Stu. Okay, and I get it. Even though Chris Hervishon is, in the last, I don't know, 6 months, 7 months of his term, and he falls off. Same with Brian Flewelling. He's about ready to fall off. I really don't expect, and I don't think any of the other gentlemen, and now Cynthia Bench has joined the force, so it's 5 of us. I really don't think they believe that, the 2 of them would really jump in the middle of this. That's not their kind of MO when they've got to work together for a while. So I don't knock them. That's not how I operate. But I don't knock them for that at all.
Right. Well, that's good. They're both good people. I mean,
yeah,
I bring them up
absolutely.
because they've interacted with me several times. And
yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Very good. What's one of the first things that you're going to tackle? I know you're doing work right now as a civilian, but when you get involved and get past this and get on the ballot, and let's say you make it into the chair, what's one of the first things you're going to do?
Well, you just mentioned that's a lot of steps. Getting past the primary, and then from then through the rest of the year, there's a general election, but that's when I'm going to start really amping up what I'm going on, what I'm doing. People do know that I'm interested, and I genuinely want to run for chairman. I have met with many of the folks that are candidates and have expressed that to them, talking to them and, giving them information. This is how county council works and the how the office of county council person is supposed to behave to try to limit the amount of growing or learning curve, if you will, for them. Once, if I make it to council and make it to the chair, the first thing that needs to happen is see who are the players of the game, and then let's begin to build an honest, ethical, integrity-filled council that the voters of Beaufort County can be proud of and can enjoy working with. There needs to be a complete transformation of, you can call it the aura, you can call it the public perception, but what's status quo right now has got to end. It's got to end. No more of these executive sessions without limitations. No more of these limited press to council. We're going to get rid of that. You can come see us in person. You can get on Facebook. You can get on Melon or whatever else. If you have a question, you're going to be able to deliver that question. Once those things have accomplished, it's and this is a matter of weeks. We're talking, this is quick. Committees have to be formed. I've already been thinking about, committees and who can be done or who can do the best job where. I want to formulate that so the county council can get to work immediately for the people. Get out of the daily work of the county. Sit with our county administrator as chairman and explain with the vice chairman, whoever that will be, explain the role that I believe this will take, in that it is at this point his job to run the county. He reports to us and we're going to manage him. County council doesn't need to manage the departments. So Al, by doing all of those things, you've now begun to create, and this is what a leader does, and this is what a business owner does. You're changing the environment. Okay. And that's probably one of the biggest things I feel is a difference between my opponent and I. She's never owned a business. She's a educator, and that's fantastic. Most of my family is. Right. But when you own a business and you've managed people and you've led a team down the road to victory, it creates a whole different thing. Then, Al, we can get to, let's get that light done. The traffic study's done on 170. Let's put to bed all of these lawsuits. We're going to get out of that business, Al, of spending taxpayer money suing everybody. We're going to get out of that business. You know, I want the people of Beaufort County to say, you know what, I pay taxes. You know, I'm a 4% taxpayer, I'm a 6% taxpayer, I'm a 10% taxpayer, and I'm proud what we have here.
Sure.
You don't see that right now.
No, afraid not. Afraid not. What? So Joe Passman, he is the current chairman right now. Is his term coming up then, or
as chairman or on council?
Chairman is chairman.
They're yearly. So yes, every chairman's term is only for a year.
Thank God for that.
And you can run again, or you can, you know, say, hey, I've had enough, and let somebody else do it.
Yeah.
I fully anticipate he will want to run again. I would put money on that.
Right.
And I look forward to that. You know, I look forward, and I've already started having the conversations with other council members, you know, about what do you want to see county council look like? Do you want it to continue down the road of Stu Rodman and Joe Passman? And if so, then by golly, stick with what you got.
Yeah.
If you want it to look different, you know, I think I can bring to the table what's necessary to make that happen. So everybody can have input, and it's not one-sided. It's an all-in, not a select group of, you know, 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever. We don't need that.
No, I agree. I was so disappointed, really, I guess, in his leadership, Passman's leadership, especially with the Ashley Monroe situation. Is that her last name? Jacobs. I'm sorry. Yeah. And the way that he closed the door on any kind of communication between the residents of this county and the overuse of the executive session, I thought it was and is absolutely absurd.
Yep. There's no excuse for that. No excuse for that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So what's on your agenda now between now and the 14th?
Talking to as many people as I can.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night we have a huge event in Hampton Hall. There's, I think, 4 of the candidates. I think it's 4 or 5 of us have an event over in Hampton Hall. I think I've heard there was 80 to 100 or so RSVPs coming back.
Oh, nice.
You know, and that's
I'm sorry. Who's running that?
Tom Curry and his wife Cheryl.
Oh yeah, very nice guy.
Yeah. Tom has been a long supporter of mine for years, and I deeply appreciate everything he and Cheryl and his company have done for me personally, politically. They've always been there to you know, be in my corner. And I have to say that all the folks that have, whether it's contributed dollars to the campaign or put an endorsement out there or just said, you know, Mike, let me help you, you know, at my free hot dog day, whatever. It's been, including, you know, you with radio and coming to the debate forum thing. Right. You know, those kind of things mean so much. So it's my duty to be in front of as many people as I can, as often as I can. We have a donut and coffee morning, Saturday morning in University Park. So, you know, maybe slip around the corner there and come get you a donut and a coffee. We're going to be out there. I do have to go out of town. A friend of my wife, a childhood friend of my wife and I, passed away yesterday from cancer. So I've got to run to a funeral. Yeah. But you know, there's just a lot of people I need to see between now and the 14th, and see what happens.
Who is the Democratic challenger? Do you know? I saw I had his name written down here. It's I mean, gosh, I don't hear anything about him at all. I mean,
I have no idea. I haven't been. I don't want to sound pompous and say not worried, but that's been the last thing on my mind right now. It's, you know, the primary. I think one of my folks told me that he owns a trucking company or something like that. You know, I don't know. Hopefully I get to meet him. Yeah. But I really don't know.
Well, I mean, it's an open invitation to him. if he'd like to come on this radio show, I'm more than happy to host him up. Same with Tab. I mean, everybody gets fair game here. This is a platform for everybody in the county, as far as I'm concerned. If you want to talk to Mike tonight, 440-225-5686. We're open lines right now, so I only have one open line. Get in there early, Vote early, vote often.
Vote early and vote often. That's right.
So I know.
And if there's anybody that that's watching this later on or whatever, and they're not sure, they want to have a couple of neighbors over and want to hear what I have to say, just give me a holler. I'm easily found, obviously, and I'd be more than happy to come talk to somebody. As a matter of fact, I think it would even be beneficial if they had myself and my opponent together. I still tell people, and I've had some folks mention it to me now, that at the debate or forum, she had said, well, I agree with Mike, and Mike is right a total of 6 times. So absolutely, I want her there with me. Absolutely.
I want someone agreeing with you anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must admit, she is a nice lady. Believe me, I have a personal relationship with her. I mean, it's professional. She's been on the show many times in her position as the board member of the board of directors here, representing the residents. So, I mean, to me, from afar, I say that Beaufort County wins either way. So, you get people that care about what goes on in this county and want to root out some of these, ham and eggers that have been hanging around, picking up what is the stipend for being a council person? About 11 grand or something like that.
Well, no, they gave themselves a raise, and it's I don't know the exact, because I really could care less, but I want to say it's like 20 grand. Plus there are stipends for like gas, mileage and whatever. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that could go well over 30,000 with the price of gas today.
Yeah.
There's,
I think in all honesty and fairness, I was off council when it came up, so it had to have been in 21. I remember the conversations, watching them on television or Facebook or wherever they were. And it was that they had wanted to have more qualified people run for office. They needed to change the salary, if you will, and take that for what it's worth. I understand what they're saying, but I think that may have kind of blown back at them a little bit,
right?
Because that didn't really change. There's some new faces in the crowd, but it wasn't because of that. So I think I don't know how it compares to other places in the state. I really don't care. Where it was before was fine with me. That's not why I do it, or why anybody should do it, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. What do you think about some of these state elections? Like, who do you like for AG? Is Lauren Martell a good pick?
I have talked with Lauren a lot, and it's unfortunate that she has been she was blocked from the Sun City GOP, physically coming in there to talk, just like I was. And that's very unfortunate, because she has a really good message. Same thing with Keith Blanchford running for Secretary of State. Military background. They wouldn't let him in. They have good stories. They have a good platform. Lauren Martell has a formidable challenger in the current AG, Alan Wilson. He has name recognition all over the state. She does not. She's gaining. I don't have a problem voting for her whatsoever. There are some questions for Alan Wilson that I have that have not been answered, such as some dollars in cases, and just some questions that she's been raising that I have happened to go makes me think twice. I think she is it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough for her. The establishment is solidly behind Alan Wilson, solidly behind him. And across the upstate, I think that's going to be hard for her to break that cookie in half. In the Low Country, I think she's got quite an outstanding chance.
Right.
She was just endorsed by, I think it was called the Independent Review. And that means a lot. But she's got her work cut out for her. I understand. I get it. If she were to be elected, I think she would do a fantastic job. So we'll see.
Yeah. How about Nancy Mace?
I don't know if you saw the debate that they had the other night in Charleston. The first question went to Lynn Piper Loomis about, what do you think about being here at Burke High School, and what do you plan to do to bring people together? And she said, well, this is a great place, and what I'm going to do to bring people together is have all my voters vote for Katie Arrington. And she pulled the microphone off and walked off the stage. Everybody was like, wow.
Hello.
Wow. Me included. I personally, and I know Katie and I know Nancy. I know Nancy better than I know Katie, even though Katie and I have talked personally. I really believe that Katie Arrington is going to pull this victory out as well. I spoke to Nancy just a few weeks ago, and she and I speak very bluntly. We don't butter it up. It's very blunt. And according to her, she says she has a 25-point lead, and she's not worried about Katie. She's thinking about the doctor Democrat from Charleston in the general election. I think if that's true, she's sadly mistaken, because I believe that Katie has the upper edge. They both, quite frankly, are they're toxic. But one of them is going to be the Republican nominee. I don't know. My problem with Katie Arrington is that she voted for the highest tax increase with the gas tax in South Carolina history.
Wow.
She voted against some Second Amendment bills in South Carolina. Nancy, on the other hand, stuck it to the America First agenda, while gaining notoriety on the Sunday morning TV circuit. So, but I think Katie Arrington will win.
Yeah. Well, thanks for those insights, man.
And, Beaufort County GOP had a debate, I guess it was last week, and Nancy didn't show up. And according to the chairman of the party, Kevin Henley, and take this with a grain of salt, that her people had said she was going to be there, and then the day of at noon they called and said, well, she can't be here. And he was I watched it. He was visibly torqued, and I get it.
Yeah, right.
That doesn't help her. It doesn't help her case any at all.
Right. That's you brought up the Beaufort County GOP, state GOP, but Beaufort County GOP is now run by this Linda Coleman, right?
Beaufort County?
Yeah, the Beaufort County GOP local.
No, that's run by Kevin Henley.
Oh, it's
Linda. Yeah, Linda Cannon is the central director. Yeah, central part of the county. Yeah.
Right. Sorry about that. I need a program with all the players,
Oh,
Linda Cannon. She seemed very nice at the
yeah.
debate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Super nice lady. Super.
I thought, I don't believe that some of the restrictions that were laid on me were coming from her. Maybe so, but I think, it was a little bit of, behind the door type of discussions about whether how fair I was going to be to both candidates. And
Well, now let's be honest. They're concerned you were not going to be fair to their candidate, which is Tabernick, and it's everybody knows that, and it's wide open.
Yeah,
and I've told them before that hey, I may have done radio with you,
right?
But when it comes to this, I mean, it's there's no secret handshake in the Ben's room.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Right. That's one of the things I've always liked about you, Al, is you are straight. You are a straight shooter, and it is what it is.
Yeah, that's what I was. And some of the language in the emails were kind of like off-putting to me. But you got to have thick skin, and I know you have that. But you got to just kind of roll with it. And and the email is like poison. Like you can tolerate a little bit of it, but man, if you have a steady diet, you're going to drop over. Something bad's going to happen to you. Oh, so yeah. I was happy that I got a chance to meet her face to face. Completely changed my outlook on the whole situation. Made it much more pleasant. So,
yeah, I can't agree with you more on that. And my wife, God love her, she's the one who brings me down back to level. Come back down here. Come back down, Mike.
She pulls
today with the and I'll get into key of G, man. Like the sign thing, and they got somebody else. I've exposed this gal at Hilton Head, who's, in my opinion, running a scheme, and now I've got people saying, "Oh, she's the best." I'm like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? She believes like the Sun City GOP president. Don't let anybody in that he doesn't agree with." It's the same. It's the same mentality, and you get those emails, man, all the time. And I saw two just ping my computer over here while you're talking. Right. So there's a time where you got to say, "Time out."
Right. Right. Well, listen, Mike, thanks a lot for joining me today for a little talk. I enjoyed it. I hope we're going to replay this, so it's going to be rocking and rolling. There you go.
Anytime, buddy. Anytime you need me, I'm here.
There you
folks, go. That's what you need to know right there, folks.
Go ahead and give your website, your digits, the whole bag. Let them know.
Well, I, being the fiscal conservative that I am, I looked at the price of a website for a short term. All I needed for was a year. Right. It didn't make sense on a local race of 17,000 people. That kind of money doesn't make sense. So I chose, we're not doing a website. It doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Cedar Lake 23 at outlook.com is my email. There's my phone number, 305-0600. Facebook, Mike Covert or Michael E. Covert. I'm on Twitter, and I don't know what the thing is, and Instagram, and the Pony Express, and who knows else. You just type in my name, and you'll be able to find me somewhere.
That's great. Well, thanks, Mike, for joining me. I'll talk to you. I'll catch up again. Good luck to you on the 14th. It's coming up pretty fast, man.
Yeah. Get out and vote, folks.
There you go. Pace yourself, my friend. Pace yourself.
Thanks, buddy.
Right. Take care. All right. That's Mike Covert. Always awesome to have him on. And, he's a candidate for District 6. Tab, if you're listening, I want you to know that you're welcome to come on here also. Spend a half hour, talk it up, do whatever you like. Tell the people what they're going to get. I know you're well loved in Sun City, but, equal time for all candidates, including the Democratic candidate. If you'd like to come on, more than happy to have you on. These are all replayed over and over again on our website. Also, they'll be posted up on Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube. So, don't be shy. We're going to be back next Wednesday. If you want to talk to me, you can always reach me at aak@talkoneradio.com. and reach me right through the our website at talkoneradio.com. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight, folks. It's always a pleasure, and we appreciate your patronage.
You've been listening to the finest in conservative talk radio. TalkOne Radio. Broadcasting live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Taking your calls at 1-843-800-1492. Hey, would you do us a big favor? Please make sure that you like or share this content with your family and friends. And visit our website with comments or questions at talkoneradio.com, where you can listen to our podcast, now available on iTunes, iHeart, TuneIn, Podbean, and other platforms including Radio Max, so you can listen to us while you're on the go. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time right here on the Low Country's finest conservative talk radio. TalkOne Radio. This broadcast production has been brought to you by the TalkOne Radio Network.
All right. There you go.